about the Orioles on a day-by-day basis, but not enough to actually go and buy some tickets and go to the game. I will be there on Thursday, and Luke, of course, is there all week, and we'll be on the backfields at Owings Mills for all things Ravens and Jacksonville. I hope to be in the pool tweeting on Sunday afternoon down at whatever they call it, stadium in Jacksonville. We'll get to all that later on. But, when Baltimore's going well, we love to feel the pain of places like Philadelphia and D.C. And, did I mention that it's the undefeated Baltimore Ravens on Sunday? We're going down to Washington right now. I'm going to welcome in a lady who's usually a good sport on the program. We'll see how it goes when the Redskins are 0-2. She is Cindy Bourne, the deputy sports editor of the Washington Post. You can follow her journey out on Twitter at Cindy Bourne. That's Cindy with a Y and Boren, not like the element. What's going on? How are you?
I hate you. I'm fine.
See, it started already. See, all right. Already we got this Baltimore-Washington thing. The winless Washington Redskins. I like saying that as well in Raljon, and I know no one there calls it that anymore, but I have memories. This is really kind of a strange situation. I mean, first off, winning the division last year raised expectations, clearly, but this has not been a good look for the Redskins, and I guess, and even the fans weren't out in force over the weekend, right?
You are correct on every single count. It's funny. I think what the 0-2 start shows us is how misleading last season was. The NFC East was dismal. It was just, I guess I'm being kind there by saying it was dismal. The Redskins didn't really beat teams with winning records, so that was a little bit misleading when they won the division. And some of the moves they made in the offseason were fine, but it's the same problems they've always had. And consequently, you so smugly sit up there in Baltimore with your smoothly functioning football team. And, down here in D.C., we've got drama.
Are they still pulling the shades, from the reporters? They still do all that down there? I mean, I've only heard the legend. I mean, I deal with the Orioles up here, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, I leave them alone for the most part. I mean, except when the stadium's empty. But, I mean, the Redskins, it's similar, right? I mean, there have been people that just say, and this is an NFL thing, it's a sports thing for old people like us, Cindy. I really need to get in the car and go over there and do that? Do I really want to deal with the traffic? I mean, there's all of that associated specifically with the Redskins. I mean, people feel that way about whatever they want. They're not coming to Oriole games because they're afraid of traffic. But with the Redskins, it is kind of a pain in the ass, even if you love the team, right? So giving tickets up to the Cowboy fans, it's not that far out of the view of something sensible, right?
Well, you would think that if you're a fan of a team, you wouldn't sell the tickets to the game, that involves a rival. But, whatever. There are so many people here who feel that exactly the way you just stated it. It's a pain in the neck to get there. It's an all-day commitment. And a lot of people, let's face it, the Redskins haven't been good in,
Well, the fans haven't been treated well either, quite frankly. I mean,
They haven't been treated well. And you know what? You've got kids who have grown up, and maybe they're rooting for a different team. Maybe they're watching the Red Zone. You don't have to live in the city in which the team resides in order to root for it. So you've got kids who are like, why do I want to go watch the Redskins? They're not good. And they've grown up, so it's kind of, you've got a lot of people who are just sort of giving up and turning around and selling their tickets on the market. So they keep them just in case, they turn out to be good and they win another NFC East championship. But, I think people thought the division would continue to be poor again this year, and I think they're in for a surprise. I think the Giants have played well. You saw the Eagles.
Eagles look really good,
Wentz
right?
looked good. Yeah. And,
well, if that kid can look that good 120 minutes in, he's going to get better, I mean,
exactly.
Go ahead.
The Bears are a terrible team.
Well, okay,
but,
we've seen a lot of that, too. There's a lot of bad teams in this league, too.
Yeah, there's something like, almost 20 of them that are at 500. Of course, it's early. So
I know. I've seen the Bills and the Browns through 2 weeks, and I'm about to go to Jacksonville. So, the Colts haven't looked much better. There have been some teams out there that look like, wow, how are they going to get to 4 or 5, right?
But, when we started, I said I hated you, and here's why I hate you. Let's get back to that, shall we?
Sure. That's what the Internet is. I hear that on Twitter every day. It's perfect.
No, look at the Ravens. They go out there 2-0. There's some questions about exactly how good they are, but they're 2-0. People in Baltimore don't sit around generally on the day after a game and discuss coaching decisions. I mean, I'm trying to remember the last time John Harbaugh made a coaching decision in a game. Maybe it was against the Patriots in a playoff game.
Well, not calling the timeout.
But they're pretty infrequent. And here, now everyone in D.C. is looking at Jay Gruden, and his play calling, the way Josh Norman has been utilized through the first two games. So, there's all this drama, and it must be interesting to have a coach that you're not sitting there for the most part. Most of the time on the week after the game, you're not sitting there second-guessing him.
Well, sometimes it's clock management, and certainly sometimes the offensive coordinator here who's had more heat over the course of time. And John isn't necessarily associated with the offense or the defense, which kind of keeps him at, it's always on the coordinators, so to speak, that when the defense stinks, as it did in the first 8 minutes of the game and giving up 3 touchdowns, people are down on Dean Pease. They're not down on John. Same thing with the offense. Cam Cameron got run out of here first by the fans, then by John, when it comes to the offense. One thing I would say about the Ravens so far is they have the offseason and the conversation around them. What we've seen on the football field are players that we didn't believe would be on the field. From Dennis Pitta, Steve Smith at this level, Brashad Perriman, how can you believe? And Terrell Suggs, who of that pack of guys has been the least impactful in coming back from the injury and also has some age and some wear on the tires. But Joe Flacco is the franchise at this point, and people wonder why he makes the big bucks. It's he is a stabilizing force for the team. And now, this may be the most varied group of wide receivers he's had. I mean, Kirk Cousins inherits what he inherits there and inherits this reputation of being a passing guy last year. And I think the league adjusts. And there are some reasons Kirk Cousins was not an elite quarterback, to use a Flaccoism, or considered to be that. And there are still question marks about him, and there should be at 0-2.
Right. And, I think people realize that he caught fire last year. And if you look at the totality of his production last year, maybe this shouldn't be such a surprise this season. And, there's film of him now. People saw what he did when he was successful. They know how to stop him. And, the Redskins have never been, you used the word stabilizing, the Redskins have never had stability really here at any level. They have Scott McCloughan now and a general manager who should be stabilizing, But what people didn't realize is that even when they were on a roll last year and winning the division, the Redskins were still a middle of the pack team. Maybe, to be charitable, a little above middle of the pack, but not much. And that's showing. And I think McCloughan, I don't think anybody really believed that McCloughan would come in here and in one draft turn the team around. It's just not going to happen. And what you're seeing is just how long the team was poorly managed and put together and how long it's going to take to actually get something that's competitive and on the field again. It's not going to happen, maybe even for another year. Now we're only in the early part of the season. We're not even a quarter of the way through the season yet. So
it feels a lot longer when you're 0-2.
Well, yeah. And, now the Redskins have to play the Giants, and not only that, but they squandered 2 home games. You've lost 2 home games now.
Well, the other part of this for us is we're watching the Steelers, right? So, you're going to find this hard to believe, Cindy, but I actually rooted for the Redskins for a little while, out of Buffalo Wild Wings. They're playing the Steelers. I don't do it often. I make a rare exception. But, that night, and now seeing the Steelers win and sort of hold serve against Cincinnati, I'm starting to get the thought that Pittsburgh's better, that they've done some things there. Certainly offensively, there aren't going to be a whole lot of teams. A lot of teams are going to get their feelings hurt. They're going to put up 30 most weeks, I think.
The Steelers were my AFC pick. Super Bowl pick.
Oh, Billick said that to me earlier this week. You're killing me. What are you doing? You don't do that in Baltimore.
I'm sorry.
You're the second one this week giving me Steelers Super Bowl prediction. You know what that allows me to do? Cancel my week in Houston in February.
Well, it doesn't mean that I was rooting for them because I don't root, but I just liked the way they were playing toward the end of last year and through the playoffs and I don't know. I just sort of had a feeling about them and. Boy, they sure came in here and took care of the Redskins, which isn't quite the accomplishment it turns out.
There's no doubt about it.
Thought it was.
She is Cindy Boren. She is the deputy sports editor at the Washington Post. And I like when Ryan Mallett beat the Steelers last year until draft day. Then I didn't like it very much. But we're very happy with Ronnie Stanley and the guys we have here. By the way, next Wednesday night we'll be out at Greenmount Station in Hampstead swabbing for the Bone Marrow Registry with one of Ronnie Stanley's running mates these days, Alex Lewis, the new rookie left guard. He'll be with us, as will Ryan Jensen. So that'll be a big night next Wednesday at Greenmount Station swabbing for There Goes My Hero. Cindy Boren joining us here now. On the baseball side of things, now, Cindy, how many years you've been following baseball in this marketplace here? Certainly long enough to remember that we used to be your team and you used to be our team, and part of filling up the stadium and part of Mr. Angelos' trepidation about taking those billions of dollars and allowing you nice folks down in the district to have your own little baseball team. This thing now, when we're in a pennant race and you see how paper-thin the fan base is in Baltimore and how people aren't going out to the games and supporting the team, it must be alarming or some sort of, a kick in the backside for the people down there that used to make the hour and a half traffic. What Camden Yards is for a lot of people in Vienna, Virginia, is what the Jiffy Lube Pavilion is for us. It's an evening in hell to do something I really want to do, and many people in D.C. made that thing happen. Now the fan base has been split, and a lot of the sins of Angelos, in the same way we talk about Daniel Snyder's sins, stupid ownership and stupid relationship with your fan base, allows people to just say, I'm not going to come to the games. I'll stay home.
Don't you think it'll turn around when the postseason begins? I kind of imagine.
I hope.
People,
right?
I think so. Yeah, I think people will really get into it. And of course, I think in Baltimore you have, when the Ravens are going well or winning, people tend to pay. It's the NFL. People are going to pay attention to the NFL when the season.
But there's 6 other days in the week, Cindy.
I know
what I mean?
I know.
There's Monday with the Red Sox and Tuesday with the Red Sox and Wednesday with, Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday with the Red Sox in September with 3 games apart and a pennant race on the line in September. That used to mean something around here,
Well, they're going to make the playoffs. Right?
Whoa. You better, whoa. Yeah, don't cough while you say that now. I hope you're right.
Yeah. Frankly, so do I. I think that would be fun.
And by the way, you use that in the plural. I know you're a writer, playoffs with an S. There is no playoffs when you're a wild card. There's playoff, right?
There's a playoff.
That's it.
Yeah.
You get one. That's all you. And that's not a good look. That's not a good way to go into this thing.
No, it really isn't. It really isn't. So, I've only been here, so I haven't 16 years, so I've only really watched
the demise of the Orioles.
Or so. Yeah, before that I was in New York, so I was watching Baltimore from the vantage point of having to pay attention to the Yankees and the AL East. So it's, that's sort of how I come at this. I was in New York when Buck Showalter was the manager of the Yankees. We had great respect for Showalter then. So part of me always likes to see good things happen to people who have been easy to deal with in the past. And Showalter was always a pleasure to deal with for us. That was a long time. Now, that was a long time ago.
And he's gotten better. No, but he's very deft at handling the media and the drama and all and getting their ass kicked on a Monday night. He'll come back and, they're ready to play every night, and they do have amnesia and all that. The question is, are they good enough? The question is, will they take pitches? Can they have base runners? Or are they going to get a decent start tonight, or are they going to get a turd out of whatever Dylan Bundy, Gallardo, Wade, whoever's out there at the bottom end? But the Nationals, meanwhile, are the sleepy little giant down there, right? Everyone's talking about the Cubs, and now the Giants are fading, so the Dodgers are going to win that division. But the Nationals are just sort of, Dusty's just waiting for that first playoff game. And I'll say the same thing to you Nats folks down there as I say to the Cubs fan. You better win game 1. It's nice to coast. It's nice to not have any of these bite your nail sort of nights like the Orioles are having right now. Watch scoreboard watch. There's no scoreboard watching going on. They're getting ready for playoff baseball. That's exciting unto itself, but it feels a little easy for the Nats this year. At least it has.
Well, the danger, as you well know, is being a team that's sort of on an even keel. Baseball now is so much success depends on getting hot in September and riding a wave. You might have the best record in baseball, and you may find yourself not even making the championship series. You may not get out of the division. It's impossible to know. The Nationals have always been sort of even keel, but since the All-Star break, I think they're a little over 500. They aren't as overpowering as they were in the first half of the season. And the big question for the Nationals, in addition to the bullpen, I think, for me, is, Steven Strasburg. It's a different team if Steven Strasburg can pitch. If he can't, all bets are off, really.
Well, and the other part of this, too, is avoiding the Cubs in the first round, right? I mean, there's a part of that where they don't have to go deal with Wrigley Field. They're going to have home serve as long as they can hold serve here on the Dodgers, who've been surging. But, over the next 2 weeks, that's job number one in D.C. is to, avoid the Cubs, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I would think so. I would not want to play the Cubs, but that warning applies to the Cubs too. You come in with the best record, you come in with an overwhelming record, and look at the last 10 years. How many times has the team with the best record not advanced to the World Series, not won the World Series?
Well, if it's surging we're worried about, then certainly the Red Sox have given everybody a reason to be thought, hey, we're going to get together and talk some Caps again down the line. I know they're about to drop the puck this week, and Trotz is getting everything ready. Speaking of expectations not served, right? I mean, there is your example of what happened last spring, but it does feel like a long time ago. And, Cindy, I'm ready to pick myself up and love hockey again.
Oh, no.
I am.
I
this is the year.
Oh, no. It's like you have amnesia. I felt that way for a couple of years, and then last year I gave up. I said, that's it. It's just not worth it because I know what's going to happen. I mean, you talk about a team that puts together a great record and is on an even keel all season long, and then, chokes in the playoffs. That's the Caps. So I have to.
I mean, you're not wrong, I'm not going to argue with you, but I don't really want to hear that right now. It's a new season.
No, of course not. No one wants to hear it. Everybody, I like hockey. Hockey's probably right up there. On if I had a day off, if I ever got a day off, hockey would be the sport I would go to see. On my day off. But I'm just. I don't know.
Well, when you get a day off, we'll go to the game together because I'll be down there plenty this year. I mean, I'm all in. I'm sold. I'm waiting, and I'm ready to believe, and I'm ready to everything I said last year. I'm going to say again this year, and I'm sure they're going to start the season 14-4-1, and they're going to go out on this West Coast to start the thing. And I know. I mean, they're going to play good hockey because they're a good team, right?
They are.
They're a good team.
They are. I just want to see them play good to great hockey in April.
Well, you got to wait till April for that. You can't have that in September.
I want it in May.
All right. Well, 9 months from now, come see me, as they say. Hey, it's great having you on, as always. I don't want anything good to happen to the Redskins, and quite frankly, it's fun just talking to you about bad things happening to the Redskins. Something really good's going to happen to them next weekend. They're going to host the Cleveland Browns. And then they have us.
Yeah.
Well, they'll be on a one-game winning streak when they come up here, at least. I promise you that.
Well, yeah. And it's sort of sad that poor RG3 won't be available for the game against the Browns. That's kind of depressing.
I got something for you, okay? And I'm going to give this to Shine in, too. So I'm in the press box in Cleveland, up on the roof on Sunday early. I got up there early and got settled in. I got some dear friends of mine in the Cleveland media. Don't tell anybody.
I'm telling everyone.
And a guy walks by. The shirt was a plain brown T-shirt, and it had orange, big lettering on it, and it was R and 3, and the middle was a cartoon wheelchair, which forms the letter G. Now you get that one? Did you share that one?
Yeah.
You saw that one?
I think I saw that on Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a guy was wearing it, and I didn't share it because he sort of walked by me. He was like wearing some sort of like a photography thing, but it was RG3, and the G was the wheelchair. And,
that's just wrong. That's just
and
wrong.
He's been there a week and a half, right?
Yeah.
I mean, literally.
And who knows? It would not surprise me to see them shut him down. Or in 3 weeks to say, oh, you know what? He needs surgery. He's done. It was such an idiotic play, too, for him to just get crushed as he was going out of bounds when he could have just slid out of bounds. Just slide, dude. How many times has that been said, over the course of his career in Washington?
Not in his instinct to do that, right? I mean, which is what made him vulnerable to begin with. And, I didn't think he was going to win that many games in Cleveland. I am of the mindset that teams like the Redskins just don't give guys away because, they want to see him go be a lottery pick quarterback elsewhere. I mean, there haven't been very many of these lottery pick quarterbacks from, Tim Couch to Ryan Lee. Many of them, Joey Harris, when they fail in their first chance, usually it doesn't work out in Team B. Usually, right?
Yeah. And, he's got kind of a hurdler's body. He's always had a track runner's body, not really an NFL body, and he just refuses to adapt. He just won't do it. And, I love the fact that he loves contact. He's not afraid of it, but, it's...
Doesn't mean you should
sad.
seek it out,
it's
right?
Sad. It's just sad. Yeah, you don't lower your shoulder and take it. I mean, that's just dumb.
I talk about that with Shining all the time, so it's fine. Cindy, great having you on. Enjoy the travels. Enjoy the playoff baseball down there. We'll see if we can. Who knows? Maybe there's an I-95 World Series in 4 weeks, right?
Oh, that'd be fantastic.
As long as we win.
Well, wait a minute.
Well, that's part of the game. Cindy, be well. We'll check in again next month.
Thank you.
You got it. Redskins going to get it happening with the Ravens on the 9th of October. That's coming right up. I mean, didn't feel like it was that early in the schedule, but 2 weeks in, it feels like, hey, they're coming up here. Don't sell your tickets to the Burgundy and Gold. I don't know what to say about selling tickets at this point based on what the Orioles have done earlier in the week. So I got nothing for you that I haven't tweeted or already written at WNST.net. You can find me out in the Buy a Toyota Audio Vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device by downloading the TuneIn Radio app. We come in crystal clear from anywhere in the world. Our morning newspaper arrives in your email inbox at 7 a.m. It is powered up by Planet Fitness and PlanetFitness.com. And, of course, the tech service. That is breaking news first to your mobile device. It's all brought to you by Coons Ford of Security Boulevard. And Dennis will be here on Thursday driving you home. Next Wednesday night, we're at Greenmount Station with Alex Lewis, as well as Ryan Jensen from the Baltimore Ravens offensive line. We're going to eat crab cakes. We're going to talk O-lineman stuff and football stuff. It's what we do. We'll be swabbing for the Bone Marrow Registry and for There Goes My Hero as well. Wednesday night, Greenmount Station. Hope to see your face in the place up in Carroll County. Nasty at WNST.net reaches me. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Snapchat, Instagram, as well as streaming live on Facebook Live and streaming liver, is that a word? On our YouTube, WNSTV channel. We are WNST.net AM 1570 and WNST Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports. ST Towson this weekend with the undefeated Baltimore Ravens. I do love saying that. I'm going to say that all week, and if they win, I'm going to say it all next week. I'm going to continue to say that. And the Orioles, of course, keeping us